Today on ELN Morning.
Program suspended as the coronavirus continues to spread. We talked to the Elon professor based in Florence as her students travel back to the U.S.
Knowing that it doesn't define them.
Supporting Survivors Week, a message one Elon student is sharing with her peers.
Head to head, the race for Elon's executive president is on. We'll tell you who the candidates are and what they stand for.
Today, February 26th, 2020.
This is ELN Morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us today for ELN Morning. I'm Amanda Gibson.
And I'm Baylor Rodman. Elon students are currently traveling back to the U.S. after the university suspended their study abroad program in Florence, Italy because of an increase in the cases of the coronavirus, what the World Health Organization is now calling COVID-19. Elon Spanish lecturer Ketavan Kupadazzi moved to Florence with her 2 kids and husband to teach there for the semester. In an exclusive interview with Elon News Network via Skype, Kupadazzi says she got an email from the Global Education Center 3 days ago saying that there were no plans to suspend the program. The next day, she received a call from the dean of the GEC, Woody Pelton, informing her that the program had been suspended and that they would all be sent home. While Italy has over 500 cases of the coronavirus, most of those are found in northern Italy. Florence is the capital of the Tuscany region, where there are only 2 confirmed cases. Kupadazzi says students are surprised they are being sent home because life for them in Italy seemed normal.
Things seem to be calm here. Nothing strange or extraordinary is happening in the streets, and people are just going about their business, and there are museums are open, schools are open.
The students will be completing the rest of their coursework online, but she says it's just not the same.
This was still very much the beginning of their journey, and they were looking forward to the other 3 months that they were going to spend here. So I think it was, well, students were hit the most because they were most disappointed and saddened by the news.
She says some students would like to move back to Elon after spring break if there is available housing. In a recent email to students, Vice President for Student Life, John Dooley, says the university will continue to monitor other study abroad programs. And to read more of our interview with Kupadazzi, visit our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
New this morning, the Elon poll is out with a new survey about the top issues among registered North Carolina voters ahead of the Super Tuesday primary. The poll looked at the opinions of the economy, healthcare, and the political system. When asked if political divisions made life uncomfortable, 66% of respondents said yes, while only 33% said no. In addition, 66% of respondents think that politics will get more divisive in the next year, compared to 7% who believe politics will become less divisive.
And speaking of the presidential race, 2 presidential candidates will be in North Carolina today. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar is getting ready to appear in just a few moments at the voting rights panel at the International Civil Rights Center Museum in Greensboro. She is later scheduled to hold a rally in Raleigh this afternoon and will be sticking around the state to take part in a Fox News town hall. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is also ready to hold a rally today, starting at 11:30 at Winston-Salem State University. For full coverage of these events, visit elonnewsnetwork.com and click on the Politics tab.
Super Tuesday is just 5 days away, and so is the conclusion of this year's Student Government Association election. Our Ellis Chandler has more on the 2 candidates running to be your executive president and their platforms.
Brandon Veal and Robbie Miley both lost their presidential campaigns freshman year, but that didn't stop them from getting involved with SGA.
There were a couple things I wanted to do that I didn't do in high school, and being more involved with the student government or in student campuses in general was very high on the list, actually, if not number 1.
Veal served on SGA Senate freshman year, while Miley served as a council senator his sophomore year. The 2 currently serve as president and vice president for the class of 2021. Miley and Veal say they want to continue addressing the student body's concerns if elected into the position next week.
That I think we as a student government can do a lot better is communicating with the student body and having like people that are students kind of come to us when they do have an issue. I feel like some people do that, but I think a lot of people don't necessarily do that because they don't really know who we are and what we do and what we can do.
Both candidates say they want to use their positive freshman experiences to help ease students into their lives at ELN.
The transition to college can be really difficult for a lot of different students. You know, I had a really great orientation leader, but I still feel like I kind of struggled.
And help spark more first-year involvement.
Like, we have the phrase like belong with ELN outlined in big letters, but if the students don't feel like they have some stake in the event, or they feel like they don't feel driven to go to the events, they won't go, and in that sense they don't belong because they won't be a part of the community activities that we're doing to kind of make this place really good.
But there are other issues on campus that concern the candidates. If elected, Veal says he wants to focus on student safety and security, and Miley says he would like to increase civic engagement. Ellis Chandler, ELN Morning.
Voting for SGA candidates opens on Phoenix Connect on March 2nd at 9 a.m. and closes at 5 p.m. March 3rd.
While elections are currently going on at the university, North Carolinians will also be casting their ballots next week statewide. One primary on the ballot is the race for the governorship, with 4 candidates competing for the seat. There will be both a Democratic and Republican primary, with 2 candidates in each race. In the Democratic primary, current Governor Roy Cooper is running for a second term against retired U.S. Army Captain Ernest Reeves. Cooper is running on what he says are accomplishments like vetoing the state budget because it did not include Medicaid expansion. And Reeves supports a statewide plan to combat opioid and drug use and education-related initiatives like lower tuition costs. The 2 Republican candidates running are current Lieutenant Governor Dan Forest and State Representative Holly Grange. Forrest is running on the student-first education policies as well as investing in the state's infrastructure, while Grange is running on her support of the North Carolina Sheriff's cooperation with ICE and passing tort reform that limits trial lawyers. ELN News Network will have special coverage of the different local races across North Carolina, the SGA election here at ELN, and the presidential contest, all on Super Tuesday, March 3rd. Our coverage begins at 9 p.m. Eastern on Facebook and YouTube Live.
What's the difference between weather and climate? Be sure to stay with us to find out after the break.
The sun is shining and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
It does indeed. Our Anton Delgado is live under the Oaks with your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Anton.
You can't weather a tree, but you sure can climb it. We have a beautiful day here under the Oaks, but don't be deceived, this wind is making it a little chilly. Today we're going to have a high of 50 and a low of 29, and the rest of the week is going to be generally pretty sunny. So if you're planning on attending any of the lacrosse or tennis matches or baseball matches this weekend, be sure to bring out your sunblock and sunglasses. I do have to warn you though that this Tuesday is cloudy with a chance of sprinkles, so be sure to have your umbrella and rain boots ready to go. Thanks for joining me for the Phoenix 5-day forecast. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Anton.
This week is Supporting Survivors Week, a week dedicated to supporting survivors of sexual assault. Students promoting awareness, changes, and empowerment, or SPACE, hosted an open mic night for survivors of sexual assault to share their stories. Social media coordinator for SPACE, Emily Sledge, says when she was in an unhealthy relationship, it was talking about what she was going through that helped her get out of it.
Getting out of my relationship and then kind of realizing how terrible it was, I kind of felt dumb in a way. I was like, why did I let this happen to me? How did I not realize it sooner? Why didn't I take action sooner? But hearing other people's stories, it made me realize that I'm not alone.
Sharp says it's important to have events like open mic night to let survivors know it's okay to share their story.
Who's not comfortable sharing their story to like come to the open mic night, and even just hearing other people's stories I think is therapeutic, but like sharing your own story with people and like being validated in that experience, it's just like such a great feeling. It's like
To close out Supporting Survivors Week, SPACE and the Gender and LGBTQIA Center will be hosting Take Back the Night tonight at 5 p.m. in Whitley Auditorium. There, survivors will share more of their stories. A reception will follow in Steer Pavilion.
And we are now joined by Hannah Strickland. She's here to sing an original song. Hannah, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
And so what's the name of that song that you're going to be singing for us?
I'm going to be performing an original called Phantom Burn, which is the title track off my new album that I'm working on. It's going to be released before the summer.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Well, we're excited to hear it. But before we let you play us out, that's all the news we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us.
For all the news you need to know when we're not on the air, check out our website, elonnewsnetwork.com, and follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
Have a great rest of your week, Elon. Hannah, take it away.
You swore you'd never do them no harm, like the moon above you, steady and calm. In the dark hours of the night, you were sitting strong. As they fell onto your matches, your tears felt warm. When the sky turned red as the roof came crashing in, and you lifted your head and you smiled, confessed your sin. You said, I ain't no outlaw, it's the same as what they did. Now these next 40 years I'll be running, but I won't be no kid.